Hello students, this is Vikas Mahajanan. I welcome all of you in our YouTube channel for the lecture of Foundation Course FY Com. Semester 1. Chapter number 1. Overview of Indian Society. In this lecture we are going to discuss the following points. Those are 1.3.3 Caste System in India. 1.4 Gender, a Demographic Analysis. 1.3.3 Caste System India. The social stratification division of society in India is peculiar in its nature. Unlike many other civilizations in the world where the society was divided into race, ethnicity or clans, Indian society is broadly divided into a hierarchy of caste. The word caste has come from the Portuguese word casta, which means breed and intended to use for classification based on purity of blood. As defined by E.A.G. Blunt, caste is an endogamous group, bearing a common name, membership of which is hereditary, imposing on its members certain restrictions in the matter of social intercourse. Caste is unique to India and especially to Hindu traditional society and its customs. It is imposed as a divine and had an extensive sanction in the society. The Sanskrit word for caste is varna, which means color. The caste stratification of the Indian society has its origin in the Chaturvarna system. During the Vedic period, about 1500 BC to 100 BC, there were four varna or castes, namely Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. This division was based on division of labor and occupation. Along with occupation, it was also denoting the endogamy, marriage within one's own caste, and the notion of purity and pollution related to food restrictions, clothing and language. Further, these groups were subdivided into number of jatis or subcastes based on diversity of occupation. Each group was like a watertight compartment moving out from which was impossible for any member of the society. The notion of purity and pollution resulted in several atrocities in the hierarchy against the lowest strata. The Shudra and Atishudras, untouchables, faced tremendous injustice and atrocities at the hands of the higher castes, especially Brahmins. It was termed as the Black Period of Indian history, where several inhuman and heinous practices were prevalent in the society, denying the basic human rights of these suppressed classes. However, after independence, under the great leadership of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, they got a special status in the Constitution of India as scheduled castes. The term used for them was Dalit, the depressed, or Harijan, as coined by Mahatma Gandhi. Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar was a pioneer to initiate the Dalit movement in India to bring up the status of untouchables by converting to Buddhism, which does not believe in caste hierarchy. Positive discrimination, reservation in India. According to the Government of India Act, 1935 and Article 17 of Indian Constitution, all forms of atrocities against untouchability is prohibited. At the same time, there are steps taken for the upliftment of the Dalits by giving them a special concession in the form of positive discrimination or reservation. According to central government policy, 15% of the government jobs and 15% of the student admitted to universities must be reserved for scheduled caste. There is also provision of reservation for scheduled tribes, 7.5%, other backward classes, 27% in the government jobs. This ensures an inclusive society with equal opportunities and access in the field of employment and education. 1.4 GENDERA Demographic Analysis. Gender as a demographic variable is an important component to understand the development and social progress of the nation. As rightly pointed by experts, the development which is not engendered is considered to be endangered. It is essential to understand the parameters of sex ratio, child sex ratio 0 to 6 years, health, education and work participation of women as indicators of gender development of the country. In this section we would only limit to the phenomenon of sex ratio, and child sex ratio is an indicator of women's empowerment in the nation. The other components will be discussed in the following unit on gender disparity. Sex ratio is defined as the number of females per thousand males in the population. The child sex ratio is defined as the number of females in the age group of 0 to 6 years per thousand males in the population. It is an important social indicator to measure the extent of prevailing equality between males and females in a society at a given point of time. Internationally, this ratio is calculated as number of males per thousand of females, including the underdeveloped sub-Saharan Africa. It is only in some of the South Asian countries where there is a rampant incidence of female infanticide and female feticide that it is calculated the other way. Since the first census taken in 1901, the sex ratio has shown a declining trend which has been sharper since independence, with a rare incidence of marginal increase. with 972 in 1901, to 946 in 1951, and 927, lowest in last 100 years in 1991, it has been showing a declining trend. It is only in last 2 decades, with efforts of civil society organization and stringent law of PCPNDT, Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques, Act 1994, amended in 2003, that there has been marginal improvement and has now reached 940 in 2011 census. The decline in the child sex ratio of 0 to 6 years is also alarmingly high. In 1901 the child sex ratio, juvenile sex ratio, was 976 in 1961. It has come down to 927 in 2001. The marginal improvement in overall sex ratio from 1991 to 2001 of 6 points, from 927 to 933, is not complemented with any kind of improvement in corresponding child sex ratio, which has dropped from 971 in 1981, to 945 in 1991 to 927 in 2001. The following table shows the number of females per 1000 of males. We have already discussed this in our lecture. 1901, 972, 1911, 964, 1921, 955, 1931, 950, 1941, 945, 1951, 946, 1961, 941, 1971, 930, 1981, 934, 1991, 927, 2001, 933, and 2011, 940. Against all the popular beliefs and myth, the progressive and economically developed states have the lowest sex ratio in the country. Along with historically female deficit states like Punjab, 893 per thousand males, and Haryana, 877 per thousand males, Maharashtra, 925 per thousand males, and Gujarat, 918 per thousand males, has also joined the list of states with sharply declining sex ratio in 2011. Even the child sex ratio in these states has been miserably low, with almost 50-point decline as compared to its ratio in 2001. Although declining child sex ratio is a socio-economic problem, the immediate cause undoubtedly lies in the improper use of medical technology in the form of preconception and prenatal diagnostic technique, also known as sex determination test, which unfortunately results in pre-birth elimination of female fetus, commonly known as female feticide. Another major reason is son preference. Son preference is deep-rooted in Indian society, reinforcing the patriarchal domination. This son preference is often justified through various socio-economic or religious reasons. The economic justification is that son inherits father's property and also becomes a source of financial security in the old age. The religious purpose is that at least one son is inevitable for performing the last rites of their parents. The social interest of carrying the family name forward and continuing the family lineage also play an important role. However, the most important cause for the same is the evil of dowry, which devalues the girl child as a liability for the parents. Several researchers have shown that it is the urban, affluent, literate class of the society which is involved in sex determination and sex-selective abortion. It is the small family norm and access to technology that results in the indulgence of such heinous practices by this section of society. The religion-wise distribution of sex ratio reveals that Sikhs have the most gender-biased sex ratio of 786 per thousand of males in 2001, followed by Jains 870, who are then industrialist community. And hence it is proven that economic prosperity varies inversely with the sex ratio. The long-term impact of this problem has already started showing with increasing crime and violence against women in form of trafficking, rape and molestation. Unavailability of brides in female deficit states like Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat and now even Maharashtra has resulted in a trade of girls from tribal areas at a low prices, resulting in further devaluation of women. With such a ratio, India is ranking at the bottom half of the list of 134 countries for Gender Development Index. Though there are several efforts on the part of civil society organizations, NGOs, academicians and media, government machinery and legal machinery has failed to put an end to this crisis. The welfare schemes for women's empowerment should be amalgamated with change in the attitude towards the girl child and stringent implementation of the law. In this way, today we discuss the following points. 1.3.3 Caste system in India. 1.4 Gender, a demographic analysis. I hope you might have understood all the points clearly. We will meet again in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Bye. And thank you all.